All right, so you want more quick dinners. I get it, but remember, I only have about 10 of these. I'm not giving out dishes that I'm just making up on the spot. These are the meals that I use in my everyday life that are customizable with the ingredients I have in my fridge and pantry, that are diverse in flavors, and most importantly, that come together in 15 minutes. So that's what you're getting in part 2. 4 more 15-minute dinners that hopefully you can master 1 or 2 of them and add them to your own docket. So you're still eating great homemade dinners even in your busy life. We're starting this one off with another one of my favorite pasta dishes. And of course, pasta is just the perfect 15-minute meal because it's just one thing for a meal. You don't need a ton of different elements to bring this together. Really, if you've got some fresh sausage and some herbs, you can make some version of this pasta. Of course, first step, get the water boiling. So this type of wider saute pot with a high lip is perfect for pasta because when we boil our noodles and put it in there, it'll actually fit and not spill over. So I'm just gonna get that on a medium heat. We'll get a little bit of olive oil in there to start the action. Now with these sausages, I like to just slice them right open. Always take that casing off and just boom, dab it in there. That's gonna render and get nice and crispy. Wash my hands. Got some cremini mushrooms right here, but this is a great dish to use whatever you have in your fridge. Wonderful with broccolini, spinach, peppers, I don't care. The goal is to customize it with your own ingredients. Okay, now this is what you're looking for. Doesn't take long to get some really nice browning on that. In the meantime, thanks to the power of induction, that should be on high, we're pretty much at a boil, so we'll pop in our pasti and let that go. This is tagliatelle, I believe. You can use fettuccine. Again, anything you want, I don't care. And now I will work on my pesto. So I've turned that on like a medium low. I'm monitoring that pan. In the meantime, I'm gonna make a really quick pesto. Super simple. Fresh herbs, I've got some parsley here. Traditional pesto is basil, which I have as well, but I like throwing in some extra herb. Nothing wrong with some extra flavor in there, outside of Italians getting very upset. But what aren't Italians upset with when it comes to traditional food making? Okay, I'm gonna grate in a little bit of lemon zest, extra flavor, never hurt. And I'll also go in with the juice of half of the lemon. Karate chop, 1 garlic clove. Now, most of you know that pine nuts are very expensive and I rarely have them in my house. I'm using some almonds. My culinary team highly suggested using walnuts and not almonds because they have more oil in them like pine nuts, but I really like an almond pesto. Oil. We'll start streaming in some oil. So instead of going crazy with the oil, I'm just gonna take a little bit of pasta water, not the pasta, just the pasta water. We're gonna make it a little more liquidy with that pasta water. Boom, much better. Okay, that is looking great, ready to go into our sausage. See how that is cooked down? And look at those little brown bits of goodness right there. That's what you're looking for. All that flavor on the bottom of the pan, that will also come up. Pesto in, make sure you get it all. It smells amazing. We're just gonna cook that pesto for about 30 seconds. And then our noodles should be perfect. How you doing? Noodles, pasta. Don't get mad at me. You know where pasta came from? It came from China, where noodles were created. So there's your tradition. Now this is why I suggest a pot like this, where all contained, not flying around all over the place. Food processor stills plenty of pesto in there, into the pasta water. Need a little more of that. Oh, wow. Finally, go in with some fresh parm, salt, pepper, a little bit more pasta water to lubricate. Cook for another 30 seconds, and we serve. Dude. Not only will I call pasta noodles, but I'll eat pasta with chopsticks. That is everything you want in a pasta dish. Creamy, meaty, flavorful, tangy. So good. You've got 2 pasta dishes now that you can make under 15 minutes. So sorry for the set change here, but I just did a little quick renovation, took off the front doors of the cabinets, and this is exciting. How much better does it look already? Just a little brighter. Kind of preparing, getting in the mindset of this renovation I'm gonna do. Doesn't that look better? But back to the next recipe, which is actually inspired by my brother, who told me one of his favorite 15-minute meals is a saag, an Indian saag. And it reminded me that I do an Indian coconut curry dish with tomatoes all of the time. It's like my quick go-to curry. So I'm gonna use a little inspiration from his dish, combine it with what I do, and show you. I'm using a 10-inch nonstick pot for this, but something of this size will work great. Let's get that on a medium flame. Most Indian curries start off with a ginger garlic paste. I'm not gonna make a paste because I don't have time, but a quick rough chop of both of these will do the job. And this is young ginger, so I don't need to peel it. I'm happy with that right there. Coconut oil, but you can use ghee. Now, base aromatics frying away. Just make sure they are moving so they don't burn. I'm gonna slice up a little bit of chili for some heat. Boom, chili in. Now while that's frying, tomatoes. All you gotta do is rough chop them. You don't even need to peel them. Fine with the skin, especially in 15 minutes. These will break down even in a short amount of time. Okay, coconut oil infused with aromatic flavor. Now we throw in our tomatoes. All right, I'm an idiot. I forgot a step. This is the curry powder, essential flavor for this dish. I like to add it before the tomatoes so I can bloom the flavors, really toast them with those aromatics before the juice of the tomato goes in. So I suggest that, but I'm still gonna get some toasty action right now. Let's crank this up. Just cook that for about 2 minutes and you'll see those tomatoes starting to really break down. And guess what I got, my friends? We're moving on from this to a real masher. We're just gonna mash those tomatoes, just like in the pasta recipe. So what we have right here is just a super flavorful and aromatic tomato sauce. This is how a lot of Indian curries start off. Now what I still don't have is a can opener, as you can see here. I used a hammer and a knife to get that open. I'm pretty much just buying things as I cook, as they come up. So to cream this up, I'm just gonna add some of that coconut milk. That was about a cup. Oh yeah, that transformation. Quick flavor here. And I'll take this over to Josh's special ingredient, which I think is genius. Frozen spinach. This is the sog aspect of this dish. Add in a few chunks of that, and we'll just let that cook down. It's already nice and thick though. So obviously if you've got some leftover rice, use that to serve this over. Or if you think you can make rice under 15 minutes, go for it. I've tried, it doesn't work. The other option is some type of bread, like a naan product. So you can take one of these store-bought flatbreads or naans, brush it with some butter, fry it up in a pan with a little curry spice. Not too shabby, but I'm trying to do as much from scratch as possible. So another great trick, anyone who's got a sourdough starter, instant flatbread, all this is a live culture of yeasted bacteria. You mix in flour and water, it rises like this right here. Check out what I'm about to do. Take a little butter. Ooh, damn, that is hot. Induction burners. All right, well, that just turned into brown butter real quick. Get in your sourdough starter. Oh, globby, globby goodness. We're burning, we're burning. This is a disaster. Still learning these induction burners in this studio. Ooh, I'm messing up everywhere. Some curry powder. I've got some cilantro that I'm using for one of the next dishes. I'll take the stems and just slice those right onto there. Little crunch. You get some leaves, that's all right. Can't forget salt. Let's see if I burnt the bottom. What? Not burnt. The other side should look a lot better. So we've got the pancake thing cooking away. This beauty has been stewing down. There's only one more thing I want to do, which is season it. I don't think there's any seasoning yet. And add another veggie. So you could really add anything at this point. Some fresh broccoli in there, maybe some eggplant. What else would be good? Some zucchini. This is where we're really just blanching a veggie for 2-3 minutes just to get it tender. So some fresh asparagus in there, one of my favorites. Again, just adding more veggie goodness to our dinners. We'll let that cook for like 2 minutes and we're done. Let's give it a taste. Good spice. A little more salt. Oh, I know what it needs. Definitely needs some lime. Don't underestimate a little acidic kick to brighten up your curries. Yes. Okay, should be ready. Check that thing out. Curry and cilantro encrusted sourdough flatbread. That's flavor right there. And that's vegan. Is that vegan? Oh, butter. not vegan, almost vegan. And I know a lot of you were asking for vegetarian dishes, packed with flavor, customizable with any veggies. It's all about building that base of aromatics and just adding onto it. Pretty simple stuff right here. Add it to your arsenal and I guarantee everyone in your household will be happy. There are times in your life when you just eat too many carbs. It happens to all of us. We're all guilty. And that's when this next recipe comes out. When I'm done with the carbs, I need a break from the rice to the bread. Well, what do I got in here? How do you turn a head of lettuce like this into a yummy dinner? Well, you could make a salad, but I don't know, for dinner, maybe you don't want that. So what I'm gonna do is lettuce wraps, which I make all the time. And the best part about it is I'm pretty much using just ingredients from prior recipes, plus a few pantry staples. So I'm gonna get this pan rocking on a medium heat and add in a little oil. Now I'm gonna do the same technique from the pasta by removing the sausage from the casing so I can rip it up into little pieces and get it frying in this pan. I'll start breaking up and stirring up those sausage pieces to get the action going. And while that's cooking away, I'll work on the aromatics. I'm dicing up one onion, remove the skin, slice, 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 dice, dice, dice. And I'll roll through 1 clove of garlic and the same for the ginger. All right, ginger, garlic, onion, aromatics. We've got some nice browning going on. I'm gonna add these right into that. Knife would be a much better way to do it. Now we'll cook everything down together and this will all develop color and soften up. Feeling a little bit dry. Just a little splash of oil to help it out. Salt. Okay, that is a wonderful base, but since I only had those 2 leftover sausages, this is where our friend Mr. Cabbage comes into play. Cabbage is one of my favorite veggies because when you cook it down and caramelize it, it gets so sweet and delicious. It costs basically nothing. And it's just such an easy way to bulk up a dish like this. Gonna take off that leaf, cut off the stem, that right down the core, take out the core, chicken food. This can be super rough. It's all gonna cook down. Now, if you had more time, you could keep cooking that down and rendering it even more, building more flavors, but that's tasty enough right there for me. In goes your cabbage. And we'll cook this down for about a minute or 2. Now look how much that has wilted down. Didn't take long. So now all we have to do is season. Common pantry, these are like my 4 classic essentials. Use whatever seasoning you have, but I'm going in with, obviously, the soy, tangy rice vinegar, need that acidic, wee hit of sesame, and then just a kick of fish sauce for some funk. And because I love them, sesame seeds. And that will help deglaze that pan. You see all that flavor is starting to come up into our mixture. That's where we want it. We don't want it on the pan, we want it in our food. See, clean pan. Okay, now just one final taste. Oh my God. You could add a little bit of sweetness, some honey, some sugar, but for me, that is perfect. There was plenty of sweetness developed in that caramelization. Unbelievable. So what I like to do to serve is just bring this whole thing over to the table, put something under it that is heat proof. Take your lettuce, these outer leaves, that's chicken food. And this is some bib lettuce that is just the perfect lettuce cups. Look at that. That is a perfect crunchy little cup of heaven. Get a big fat spoon. Dude. Not gonna lie, some type of drizzle. I don't know exactly what it is, like a jalapeno creamy mayo sauce. That would be incredible with this, but. I love that. It's like you can really enjoy that salty goodness of this mixture because you're eating it wrapped in just fresh, juicy nothingness. It makes it feel all right. So a lot of you seem to enjoy my struggles in part 1 with my lack of kitchen gear, which I find funny considering this channel, well, it's all about optimizing your experience in the kitchen. But luckily there are companies like Mizzen, the sponsor of today's video, who's really on a mission to enable great home cooking through their products. When I moved into this kitchen a few months ago, it was a no-brainer for me. I headed over to Mizzen.com and was pretty much able to stock this entire kitchen and get up and running quickly. And the shopping experience isn't overwhelming because they are hyper-focused on just those essentials that you really need. Misen not only makes high-quality products that work great, but they happen to be beautifully designed, so you won't have any issues showing them off in your kitchen. And finally, they are affordable, so you don't have to break the bank for a few stainless steel pots and pans. And they're constantly developing new lines of kitchen gear, so I'm always pumped for their new launches because their research, their development, and their production is top-notch. So if you're interested in any Misen products, click the link below, use code word ProHomeCooks, and get 20% off your first order. Now back to the next meal. So I try to put in as much effort as possible to really balance all of these meals out so you have options depending on what you're craving, how you're feeling, and all of that. And we already have 2 meat recipes. We've got a vegetarian recipe, and I think this last dish is perfect. It falls somewhere in between, but first we've got to gather some supplies. First off, check out this little Asian pear orchard that I planted. 6 different Asian pear trees, 3 different varieties. In about 4 years, 4 or 5 years, this is gonna be epic. But I'm interested in what's over here. These beauties have been growing very nicely. A few have been eaten by bugs and deer, but these 2 angels are ready for harvest. But the most important ingredient, this is an egg dish. Well, sort of an egg dish. All right, so what we're making is a cauliflower fried rice, which is an amazing way to cut down the carbs, but you still get the heartiness from the eggs, and it's just packed with veggies. And it's really simple to make and takes under 15 minutes. To get the dish started, all you gotta do is chop up some peppers and some onions, get them frying in a pan, and add in some sliced garlic. We've got veggies cooking over there. In the meantime, we can work on our cauliflower rice, which is really, really simple. Pour that right there, boom. Cut it up into some small chunks so the food processor can handle it. I think we can probably save this piece. Open your food processor, add your cauliflower, close, and pulse. You don't want to take it too far, just far enough so you can see it's starting to get rice-like. Perfect. So just a few pulses, got our rice. But now I'll hit it with some chili, salt. We've got our lovely purple bok choy. Just break those off right into the stir fry. They'll wilt down. Just like with the pad see ew. Push aside, more oil, freshies. I might do 3 for this to really bulk it up. 3 it is. Scramble, mix. Now we add our rice. Cauliflower rice. Crank that flame up. Soy sauce, sesame oil, got some lime left over. So just let that cauliflower soften up just a bit. Fry all those flavors together, and you're pretty much done. Last step. I actually haven't tested this in a while, and I slightly overcooked the cauliflower. I would suggest only cooking it for a few minutes. You still want it tender so it has that bite similar to rice. It's got a little too soft. It's still delicious. All you keto people that keep emailing me for recipes, this is perfect. A wonderful dinner experience. It feels very, not guilt-free, but it feels light without all that rice. So there you go, that's 8 15-minute dinners in the last 2 videos. Now I'm running out of ideas and I don't want to just start making things up that I don't actually use in my real life. So what I was thinking is I might start bringing on guests, other food YouTubers, and seeing what their 15-minute dinners are, because I know everyone has at least 5 in their back pocket that are their go-tos throughout the week. So stay tuned for that. If you want more quick dinners, boom, 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 these 2 videos. And thank you for watching this video. Thanks for Misen for sponsoring, and I'll see you soon.